Okay, my friends, I do not like this lesson. You're not going to like it either. It's hard, but we got to try to do this together today. We're going to learn this together. This is kind of a tough lesson, and it's one of those reasoning ones where you just kind of have to think through things. It's not an easy way to get an answer today. And so, what we're doing is comparing fractions today. And the idea of the standard that I'm supposed to teach you is that we look at fractions on a number line to see which one is bigger. And we know this about a number line. Numbers on this side are bigger. Numbers on this side are smaller. The farther it is this way, the larger it is. The smaller it is this way, the smaller it is. Excuse me. Got the hiccups. So as you can see, we've got both improper fractions and mixed numbers, and we've got to put them on the number line. Well, the number line that we're working with looks something like this. You'll have to draw it on your assignment today. And so we've got to get this 33/9 into mixed number form. And remember how we did that last week. We can do 9/9, 9/9, 9/9 until we add it up to 33, or we can just take 33 and divide it by 9. And we get 3 times 9 is 27. So it's going to be a whole number of 3. And if we subtract 33 minus 27, we get the remainder 6. So 3 and 6/9. So there's a whole lot of work before we even get started on this problem. So we're comparing 3 and 6/9 and 2 and 1/6 now. Well, that's easy, right? If we didn't have any fractions, you could tell me which one's bigger, 3 or 2. Now, 3 is obviously bigger than a 2, so we know this time 3 and 6/9 is greater than 2 and 1/6. Okay, we didn't even need to draw that on number line. If I did, 3 and 6/9 is going to be somewhere over here. 2 and 1/6 is going to be somewhere over there. Obviously, that's much bigger. Okay. Now, here's a good thing about the problems today. One of the second ones is going to be the same as one of the first ones. So now we've got 3 3/4, but we already know that 33/9 is what? We know it's equal to 3 and 6/9. So this one's a little more tricky. All right, this is where the number line is going to come into play. So we've got to figure out if 3 and 6/9 or 3 3/4 is larger. So what I want to do is put them both on the number line. Let's put 3 3/4 first. So I'm going to do, all right, so I've got this divided into fourths. 1, 2, try to divide it equally. So 3 3/4 is going to be right here. 3 3/4 is right there. And then I'm going to divide this into the same number line into 9ths. Okay, I'm going to do 8 lines in here. That's tricky. Okay, how are we going to divide this? We got it in the fourths. Oh, no, that's really hard. You know, we can put this on a number line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so 3 and 6/9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About right here is 3 and 6/9. So which one's bigger? 3 3/4 is bigger. Guys, that's hard. It's hard for me to go and divide a number line into fourths and to divide it into 9ths equally and compare like that. So I'm going to show you something real quick. I showed you this before, but I want to show it to you again just in case. So let's look at these two problems, and let's look at them in a different way. So let's leave this 33/9. Let's turn this 2 and 1/6 into an improper fraction. So we do 6 times 2 is 12, plus 1 is 13/6. Okay. So just use your imagination with me for a minute. All right, so I'm going to go to a different sheet of paper. So we have 33/9 and 13/6. This is so hard to do on a timeline. It's hard for me, a teacher with a master's degree and 23 years teaching experience. I know it's hard for you to draw that on a number line. So let's do that butterfly method, that way that I showed you a few weeks ago. Remember, we're looking at 33/9 and 13/6 now. It's not easy, but it's easier than trying to draw it on a number line. So we're going to look at 33/9, and we're comparing it to 13/6. Do you remember how the way I showed you you could cheat just a little bit and figure it out? Well, we were going bottom times top and bottom times top. Some people call it the butterfly method. But look at our numbers. We can't easily do 6 times 33. But if you happen to have a calculator around, we could do 6 times 33 on a calculator. Or we could do 33 times 6 and write it out. We would get 198. If we were to do 9 times 13 on a calculator, we would get 117. So which one's bigger? 198 is bigger. So 33/9, like we discovered on this first problem, 33/9 is greater than 13/6. Okay? Now let's take a look at this problem. We've got 33/9. Let's figure out what 3 3/4 would equal. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 3 would be 15/4. So let's take 33/9 and 15/4 and compare them the same way. This time I'm going to pretend I don't have a calculator. So what do I do, Mr. Helton, if I don't have a calculator? Well, you can multiply like this. 33 times 4, because we know how to do this. 4 times 3 is 12, carry your 1. 4 times 3 is 12, carry your 1. It's 13. So 4 times 33 would be 132. Then 9 times 15, 40. 9 times 5 is 45. Put our 4 up there. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 4 is 135. So this time we see that 15/4 is barely bigger than 33/9. So if we look at our second problem, let's check that. That's what we found, right? That 15/4 or 3 3/4 is greater than 33/9. I told you this wasn't easy. Okay, let's look at the next problem. When they're so close like that, it's hard. And so if you need to use that multiplication method to figure it out, that's fine with me. All right, this one is 8 5/6 and 65/8. So we're going to have to turn this 65/8 into a mixed number. Okay. All right, we can do 8 8s, 8 8s, 8 8s, 8 8 8s until we get to 65, or we can do it this easier way. We can divide 65 divided by 8. That's going to be 8 times 8 is 64. So we know the whole number is 8. 65 minus 64 is 1. So 8 1/8. Okay. Now I can look at this and I can just about guess. 8 1/8. If I drew 8s right here, that first 8th is going to be somewhere right here, right? I'm just going to kind of guess. 8 1/8. And if I drew 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 6 is going to be over here somewhere, isn't it? 8 5 6. So I can kind of use my brain on this one, and I can see 8 1/8 is less than 8 5 6. So 8 5 6 is the bigger one, so I need to draw the mouth eating 8 5 6. Just hang on, guys. We're gonna get through this together. This is probably the hardest lesson we've done this year that I can remember. It's just tough today, okay? And this is just when you got to put the pencil to the paper and just figure it out and do some work, no matter how hard it is. We don't quit. We keep trying and trying. Mr. Walker didn't even have a lesson on this. I wonder if he thought it was so hard he didn't want to do it. So that's why you're stuck with me today. All right, well, the next one, we've got 29/4 and we've got 65/8. Okay. Now, if we were to turn both of these into a mixed number, all right, let's do that. Let's just see what happens. So 29/4. If I'm going to turn it to a mixed number, I'm going to have to do 29 divided by 4. And I know that 7 times 4 is 28. 29 minus 28 is 1, so it's going to be 7 1 left over. 7 1/4. 65 eighths. I'm going to do 65 divided by 8. 8 times 8 is 64. 65 minus 64 is 1, so it's going to be 8 1/8. Well, now this is one of the easy ones, actually. Okay, so if I've got 7 1/4, and 7 1/4 is going to be like right here somewhere. 8 1/8 is going to be, well, we already have that there. So 8's obviously bigger than 7, so that's easy. We can do it like that. All right, the first 4 problems on your assignment today, they want you to draw it on the number line, but you can see how hard that is, so you might want to use one of these other strategies I've gone through so far. Then when you get to the 5th problem, it doesn't say you have to do it on the number line. It just wants you to look at a problem and say which one's greater than or less than. Or some of them might be equal even. Now, you can use reasoning on these, or you can do the way that I told you earlier to do it, which is kind of cross multiplying to find it. Some of these, like this one, we can look at, and I can imagine 5 1/3, and I can imagine 5 3/4 on a number line. 1/3 is going to be close to the 5, but 3/4, that's almost all the way to the 6, because 4/4 would make it 6. So I know this one is greater. Now that's just that reasoning part. That's just thinking through it. But if you cannot figure it out that way, you can always do this cross multiplying by making these improper fractions. So let's take 5 1/3. I'm going to put it over here. 3 times 5 is 15 plus 1 is 16 thirds. I'm going to draw a line here to kind of divide it. And let's take 5 3/4 and make it an improper fraction. 4 times 5 is 20 plus 3 is 23/4. So I'm comparing 16 thirds to 23/4. Oh boy. Well, if we do this cross multiplying way, then we can know for sure. It's a lot of work, isn't it? So I'm going to do the work over here on this page. 16 thirds and 23/4, so I have more room. So I'm taking these two numbers, 16 thirds and 23/4, and I'm going to do my multiplying here, and I'm going to pretend I don't have a calculator again. Okay, so 3 times 23, let's do that one first. 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 2 is 6, this is going to be 69. 4 times 16. 6 times 4 is 24. Put your 4 down, carry your 2. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. So this is 64. All right, so now it's easy to see that 69 is greater than 64. All right, so 16 thirds, that was what? Which one was that? Hang on a minute. Did I miss it? 69 is great. No, I didn't. Okay. 23/4, I'm getting confused, was the same thing as 5 3/4. So we said 5 3/4 was bigger, so we got it right. I was just checking to make sure. Okay, so we made 5 3/4. We turned it into 23/4. And we made the 5 1/3, 16 thirds. When we did the cross multiplying method, we found 23/4 is greater, which is the same thing we just found when we reasoned through it. So let's work another one. We've got 6 3/4 and 6 3/5. Now, if you'll remember what we learned earlier in the year, the bigger the number on the bottom, the smaller the pieces. That goes back to a reasoning lesson from a couple of weeks ago. If I have a candy bar and I split it into 5 pieces, and I split that same candy bar into 4 pieces, if I have to split it 5 times instead of 4, then each friend is going to get a smaller piece. So if I give it to 5 friends, right, instead of 4 friends, since the number on top is the same, I know that 3/4 would be bigger than 3/5. 3 of the 4 bigger pieces is more than 3 of the 5 smaller pieces. That's that reasoning part, guys, that you just have to think through these But just in case that's really hard for you, we can always do the same thing we just did, which is turn these into improper fractions and then work the multiplying way. It's confusing, I know. Okay, so I'm going to try to make it a little clearer this time. Let's do 1 over here, and let's do this one down here. Okay, so let's take 6 3/4. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 3 is 27/4. 6 3/5, 5 times 6 is 30, plus 3 is 33/5. All right, so we're comparing 27/4 and 33/5. So let's write it out on our other sheet of paper here. All right, I'll try to keep it all together here so I don't get confused like I did last time. So 27/4 and 33/5. Okay, now we're going to, sorry, should have made that bigger. We're going to do the cross multiplying method. If you have a calculator, wonderful. If not, you got to multiply on paper. 33 times 4. 4 times 3 is 12. Put your 2 down, carry your 1. 4 times 3 is 12. Put your add your 1 is 13. So 4 times 33 is 132. Okay, let's do the 5 times 27. 5 times 7 is 35. Put your 5 down, carry your 3. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 3 is 135. So 5 times 27 is 135. So 27/4, 135 is bigger than 132. 27/4 is greater than 33/5. Let's see if we got that up here. Which one's 27/4? 6 3/4. So yes, we did. 27/4 is greater than 33/5. So 6 3/4 is larger. Guys, it's just hard. I'm going to work a couple more, or at least one more with you. This one is already set up. Some of them on your homework assignment today will be already set up as improper fractions. Again, this one I can use reasoning, and I can know that sixths are larger pieces than sevenths. And if you have the same number on top, I can use reasoning to know that 33/6 are going to be larger than 33/7. I understand that's hard for some people to think that in their mind. So we're going to just do it this way again. Ready? We had 33/6. You can't see what I'm doing. And 33/7. And we're going to do this cross multiplying way to check and make sure our reasoning was right. So I've got to do 33 times 7. Let me zoom out so you can see what I'm doing better. 7 times 3 is 21. Put your 1 down, carry your 2. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 2 is 23. So 7 times 33 is 231. Now I've got to do 6 times 33. 6 times 3 is 18. Put your 8 down, carry your 1. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 1 is 19. So 6 times 33 is 198. 231 is bigger, and so that means 33/6 is bigger. Is that what our reasoning told us? Yes, our reasoning was right. Well, what if you had one like this? They're expecting us to do this by reasoning or by a number line? Seriously? Think about this. If you do a number line and you had to divide it into hundreds and put 99 hundredths on the number line, would you want to divide one between 1 and 2 or 2 and 3 up into 100 little lines? No. Well, let's reason it then. Well, 100 hundredths would be a lot smaller than 50ths. If I split a candy bar in 100 pieces, it'd be tiny pieces. If I split it into 50, it'd still be small, but not as small as 100 pieces. But our numbers are not the same on the top. We've got 99 and a 49, so we can't compare it that way. So what do they expect us to do, right? Let's just get mad, or let's just get smart, and let's just solve this thing the best way we can, guys. Okay, just work through it and figure it out. So here's the way I'm going to do this. Now, I'm going to use it a little different way this time. I'm going to go ahead and do my multiplying. 50 times 2 is 100. 2 50s are 100, right? And 100 plus 49 more would be 149 50ths. Whew. Okay, see how I did that? 50 times 2 is 100, plus 49, 149 50ths. This side, 100 times 2 is 200, plus 99 is 299 100ths. All right. I don't really want to cross multiply and figure this one out, because 100 times 149, that's going to be, add 2 zeros there, that's going to be 14,900. And then 50 times 299 is going to be somewhere around 15,002. So that's going to be a lot of multiplying. What if we could make a common denominator? Can I make 50 100? Let's do that. Because then it's easy to compare, isn't it? How do I make a 50 a 100? I can do times 2, can I? 50 times 2 is 100. Whatever we do to the bottom, here's the hard part, we got to do to the top. 149 times 2, but I can figure it out. I'm smart. You're smart. So we'll do 149 times 2. 2 times 9 is 18. Put your 8 down, carry your 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 2 times 1 is 2. So this is 298 100ths. Now look how close these are. 298 100ths and 299 100ths. That's too close to have you all be trying to figure this out, but we did it, didn't we? We're smarter than this number. So which one's bigger, 298 100ths or 299 100ths? 299 100ths is the larger fraction. Whew. Okay, breathe deeply. It's stressful today. It's stressful for me to teach that lesson even. But I know you're smart, and I know you can do it. Figure out a way that helps you, whether it's the reasoning or the cross multiplying or both, or sometimes maybe you can find a common denominator, whatever works for you. Give it a shot and give this lesson your best shot. Okay? Give it your best shot. I don't want anything less than your best. And I know you're going to do well. Talk to you later.